Good morning. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by, look at this. Let's jump to the big Bib cam, because this is usually Bibby's home. This is not Bibby's home. This is the ICU studio. Yeah. Good morning, Bib.
Morning, live from Blackpool, or Polton-le-Feld, if you want to be entirely accurate.
It looks good. I forget how nice the studio setup that we have is. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't forget at all, really. I know how nice the studio setup is, but like, we did the full wide screen setup last week. So for those of you that may not have been around following ICU for more than 18 months ish, about 18 months ago, obviously the world went to shit, so did our studio setup, but we used to use the studio for the scoop, which is more like what you've probably seen on our assets. Me and Bibby a bit further back away from the camera, you get to see the full desk and stuff, but whenever we do gameplay streams, this is more like the setup. Obviously it's not quite perfect because you've not got the full like centralizing kind of thing, but this is obviously makeshift studio for scoop split stream. And it's just good. It's just good. Although I do notice now, because when I'm streaming at home and you're streaming at home and you've got your nice Wave 3 mic at home that's all fully attuned to your mouth and the distance and everything, when you speak, we do get a little bit of background sort of noise. So we do have some work and stuff like that. But it looks fucking good. So swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts.
Suppose I could change the gain, minimize it. I don't know if that's going to make any difference or anything, but yeah, like being in the studio here, and obviously you can see the screen there, it just, because we've both got really nice backgrounds at home, it just feels like there's a lot of dead space going on the right hand side here. And that's obviously something that me and you want to redevelop this studio anyway. It's fucking boss as it is, but we know it can be so much better. It's some of the stuff's on the tech's a little bit outdated now, but yeah, that's something that obviously is going to change over like the next 6 months or so. So I hate saying watch this space,
but watch this space.
It's kind of like watch this fucking space.
Yeah. So if anyone is watching this on one of the video on-demand services or live on Twitch, then that background is basically 3 different walls. The wall behind Bibby is a flat wall. Then there's 2 angled walls coming off the side. On each of the angled walls is a TV, but then on those walls we have vinyl prints. So we're going to change the backgrounds of that. We're going to get some sort of like different art style so we can mix up the look and feel of the studio. We just need to get some vinyl print stuff set up.
Just waving at the fans outside, you know what I mean? They're all queuing up to get into the ICU studio. Stand back, don't worry, you'll get your time at some point.
Oh my god, is that Bibby from Ice Cream Uploads? Oh my god, is this when they film it live?
They're all queuing up outside to come in. No fan access at the moment.
Sorry, people. You're going to have to step back. Let me jump into the chat, though. Speaking of fans, hey, we see you all. Lotus was in. Good morning with the big ham emotes, the holy mollies. Hey, how are you doing?
Holy moly.
Do you know what? We need to lock in our schedule, because obviously, for those of you that aren't aware, we still do the scoop 5 days a week-ish. I obviously didn't do it yesterday because work stuff and hanging out my ass.
Man dead.
As you can probably tell from my voice today, I'm not in the greatest health situation right now. But we will still be bringing the scoop 5 days a week, whether we're in the studio, whether we're at home, or whether we're split like this. We'll still aim to bring the scoop 5 days a week, but we still need to sort out the schedule for how we bring additional content on that, which is where I was saying with Lotus, we haven't had any games for ages, but then again, I've not really played any PUBG or stream for ages, so that's a little bit why.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Friday felt a bit weird, like obviously streaming in the afternoon, because we are back in the office and we're working and stuff like that. It felt weird streaming in the afternoon on a Friday rather than it obviously just doing whatever, because I'd say during lockdown or whatever, we were streaming like 2 or 3 times a day, and now it's obviously gone back down to 1. It feels naughty when you're streaming in the afternoon again. But yeah, it's all about getting the schedule sorted out again.
Yeah, I think we're locking the schedule so we get some. We'll probably have to have a bit of a mix, like some obviously afternoon streams, some evening streams or whatever, to keep the content coming at the pace that we've had it, because obviously the channel's grown massively. We're at 106 fucking subscribers, so if we want to keep maintaining that pace in terms of quality content, then yeah, we'll do that. So the schedules and stuff
expect it now.
will change. We won't necessarily be streaming maybe not every day, or if we are, maybe some evening streams as opposed to just afternoon streams. But we will get all of that stuff locked in and then get back to more of a consistent schedule. So having the freedom to do more content previously was nice. But it also wasn't necessarily locked into a schedule, whereas now we're going to get back to a schedule. So maybe not as flexible, but more consistent. So yeah, nice.
Speaking of subscribers, Graham, a little dicky bird tells me that we've already got this month's loot drop prize locked in, but we're not going to share that yet, are we?
I don't know. What do you think? Do we give a teaser?
I don't think we should. I think we should. Everyone should be following at Ice Cream Uploads to find out what the prize is going to be this month.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. We have some support with the prize this month as well, which is nice because it means that all of the money that you guys drop in with subs, obviously we usually put that into to paying for the loot drop prize that we give out at the end of the month. So we give it back to you guys. This month we don't have to do that because we're having some support with that, which means it goes into Bibby's third Lambo fund. Yeah.
Keep it on your money, bitches.
Bonsai. Good morning, Bonsai. How's things, love? All right, Trico. Is that a nacho emote? It is a gaming nacho emote. Awesome setup. Thank you very much. Woo! The studio. See, nobody ever says that when they see my setup, but yeah, whatever. Whatever. Some people say it pretty often, actually, to be fair. I'm just trying to fish for compliments, but is anyone going to bite? No. Okay. Thought Bibby was wearing a shirt, wondered when he was due in court. No, Bibby's, I mean, he still looks pretty fly, to be fair, for a white guy.
No, this is, you know what, this jumper, it looks like a Snyder Adidas one. I don't know if you can see the badge.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a triangle with a line going through it. So it's Abibas rather than Adidas. But I've never really been a brand snob, so I imagine this has probably come from Asda or something, like probably £6, £8, like whatever. It looked nice, so I bought it.
Big up the Adidab. Nice.
Abidab, yeah.
Lotus says, I blame Brexit. God damn it, Brexit. King Comic, good morning. Says, hope you're well. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Could be worse. Tastes bad says, ish. Nice. So your voice, Graham, is that the new Bond sound you're going for? Maybe. Just the thing is, like, when you hit the bass notes and you don't have the nasalness, it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good. But the thing is like, as soon as I come off that bass note, it just breaks and I sound like the comic book nerd from Simpsons. So James Bond, and it's gone.
Ever.
Exactly. Yeah. We've not had games for ages and kind of feeling left out. I know. I yesterday was watching you and Hamish and Nacho and I can't remember who else. Was it Franny? All living life together, loving life, living it up, and then there's me just stood out in the rain on my own. Well, laid in bed and the rain was coming from my nostrils, but never mind. Anyway, you bastards not doing multiple streams means I'm going to have to do actual work instead. So yeah. I mean, we will be bringing you multiple streams. We just need to figure out when and where. So we'll be here to distract you and stop you from having any form of productivity. Don't worry. We're not going to have you, achieving at life. God, we will sort that out. If it's a copy of FIFA, you can keep it, Kappa. It's not. Although that is something that we. I was going to sort that out. That is something we will be doing elsewhere. Whoop, whoop. Lotus says, "Woo, Graham's room, yeah." Do you know what? I've actually changed stuff around. Do you know what? Let me see if I don't know if alt cam will work because it was open in Discord. Let me see. Yeah, you can see my room. I changed my rear view camera angle to be more of an elevated position. Hi. Hey. Just so people could see the setup more because it wasn't the greatest angle from the shelf behind. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's jump into the split screen. I need to see Bibby play some more FIFA. We'll make it happen. Before any of that though, we will go through the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. If you don't know who we are, my name is Graham Day. Hey, that man in the ICU studio, that's Bibby. We are Ice Cream in true Ice Creamy fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. We are bringing you your daily dose from the news, daily dose of the news, should I say, from the world of video games and beyond. We will give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest stories, the best stories and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions too. If you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. We also want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So if you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved with those two. We go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. It's 7 minutes to 12. So it's not quite as good as maybe did yesterday, but it'll do. Anyway, we do go live on 10 a.m. On Twitch at 10 a.m. ish. And if you are in the chat, it is important that you do give us said thoughts and impressions because we turn the live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, lots of places where people watch and listen on demand, but they don't get to get involved with us right here, right now, live on Twitch in the chat. Hey. Before we do jump into those stories, though, let me give you a couple of reminders. First of all, ! Loot drop. We give a prize back. One subscriber is a prizer. Yeah, subscribers get prizes. That sounds so much better. So subscribers get prizes. Well, one does. One person gets a sub, gets a prize for being a sub each and every single month. Pirate just bagged himself a copy of NBA 2K22 last month, and the same thing will happen again on the 1st of November. So the first Monday of the month is when we draw the loot drop. Anyone that is a sub on that day gets themselves automatically entered into the draw. Doesn't matter if you're a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3, or a prime sub, or a gifted sub. You don't even have to pay for it yourself. If you're a sub on the 1st of November, you will be in the loot drop. So make sure that you do get involved. You have to be in the Discord. You have to have your Twitch Discord accounts linked. And if you don't do that, you won't be in it. And so you got no chance to win it. You got to be in it to win it. So make sure you do get involved. Also, the time for us to jump back onto the Insert Coin channel will be coming soon. If you don't know what Insert Coin is, Insert Coin make hands down the best video gaming merchandise in the world after the Ice Cream Uploads baseball caps. That's all I'm saying.
Easy.
No, okay, it's on a par. Anyway, we do stream over on Insert Coin's channel as well, and we will be back on their channel soon. Don't actually know when. Don't have the dates in front of me, but it's got to be like
I'm gonna find out
3
I'll
weeks.
on my calendar.
So Insert Coin, if you don't know who they are, you will find out a link to their channel. We do go live on that channel once around every 6 weeks. Plus, if you want to buy yourself some of their merch using Insert Coin, you'll get our code, I believe is ICU21, and it'll save you 20% off of your first purchase. So feel free to use. Nice.
It is. Wednesday, the 10th of November is the next time we're on there, so it's just over a month away.
Oh, okay.
Just less than a month now.
Oh yeah, I forget. It's up to, it's like 8 weeks now, isn't it? Rather than 6 weeks, because the ICU coin out the coin army has increased in size.
Yeah.
So there you go.
10th. Get it in your calendar. 10th of November. Wednesday it is.
10-11. There you go. Progressive numbers. Mahanime. I think I may have butchered that. If I haven't, welcome into the stream. And if I have butchered it, I apologise. But still, welcome into the stream. Good morning. How are you doing? Gagad says, good morning, gents. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Just in time.
Morning.
Just in time. We're about to start talking through today's news stories. Also, before I do, let me just shout out to big OF_Manny, or is it even underscore? Is it just OF Manny? I can't remember because he doesn't have the consistency.
It's Manny official now, isn't it? Oh, you mean on Twitch? It's OF Manny.
Yeah,
but it's Manny_official on Twitter.
Yeah, so Manny, big friend of the channel. I'm wearing his shirt. This is the Under the Radar FC shirt. Yeah, it looks fucking good. It actually really, really good fit. Do you know what? Next time when we come to redesign the ICU FC jersey, when West finally gets one that's designed how it should be, as soon as he gets his, we'll change the designs of the jersey and we'll get some proper Nike fitted kits. Yeah, nice.
Well, West has got a limited edition, one made ever edition of the ICU jersey, which we don't even have. So
yeah, exactly. Lucky boy. Although he should be getting his, I can't check it because I'm on Discord with you. He should be getting his second shirt, so he should get, after his limited edition one, he should get the actual jersey soon. Which means once that's happened, then I can actually get bacon chins ordered as well. Yay!
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Well, let's jump into the news. Let's start talking about the news for today. So if you may have seen it already, Epic Games, not content with having a game that is so big that it doesn't even need to talk about video games anymore. Fortnite, obviously, is the biggest, or one of the biggest games in the world. Certainly in cross-platforming. Like, certainly in terms of diversifying. It has its own multiverse. You can play Fortnite for weeks without even playing Fortnite. You can just create stuff. You can watch live concerts. You can buy brands. You can whatever. Anyway, it doesn't just stop within Fortnite itself, as Epic Games is now reportedly considering making a Fortnite film. So that's part of plans for a new entertainment division. That's where we'll start today's conversations. We will then jump into the fact that shareholders have pressured Microsoft into rethinking its approach to right to repair. So if you've got an Xbox console and it goes a bit skew, if you open that up to try fix it, well, there goes all your warranty. You're not getting any money back off Microsoft. You've probably damaged that, which is kind of understandable-ish from Xbox's side of things. But if that's something that's really quick and easy for you to fix, if you do that, you lose your warranty. Why not just be able to do that? It's better for the environment if you're not having to send things off. And anyway, Microsoft are rethinking that approach. We'll go through that. And then sticking with Microsoft, rumors continue to suggest that Xbox Game Pass is nearing 30 million subscribers. That's ridiculous. To think, like, we were talking at the end of the last generation that PlayStation had sold around 120 million PS4s. At the end of last generation, there was about 60 million Xboxes being sold. The fact that they've got almost half that number on a monthly subscription service is ridiculous progress. So if anyone thinks that PlayStation are ahead in the console war in terms of sales and so on, yeah, possibly. But that number is not quite what it was, if that is to be believed. So we'll go through that one. And then we will wrap things up with a substantial peek at Saints Row's new open world, and Nintendo Switch Online won't screw Europe. If you want to know more on what that is, then I'll tell you more in a bit, but I'm going to leave it there for now. But let's kick things off. Epic is reportedly considering making a Fortnite film. Have you had enough Fortnite in your life, babe? Would you watch a film on Fortnite?
That's a very good question, Graham. I suppose it's up to the article to try and convince me otherwise.
Well, let's see if we can convince you otherwise. As Tom Ivan at VGC has this article, it says Epic Games is reportedly considering making a Fortnite film as part of plans for a new entertainment division. Epic Games is reportedly considering making a Fortnite film, according to The Information, which is an article written and posted behind a paywall. Fortnite movie discussions form part of a wider conversation at Epic about the possibility of launching an entertainment division focused on scripted video programming. The site's sources claim Epic is exploring new ways to grow its brands at a time when its ambitions in the mobiles game space are being restricted by its legal battles with Apple and Google. I'll hit play on the trailer, might as well. Epic has hired several executives from Lucasfilm this year, including its new president of special projects, Jason McGatlin. He was formerly vice president of physical production at Lucasfilm and was executive producer of all the Star Wars films released by Disney. Apple recently said it won't consider letting Fortnite back on the App Store until its legal battle with Epic is complete, which might not be for several years. Epic is appealing against the decision. Do you know what? We don't need to know about that too much. It's fine. That's fine. We'll jump back into the original talking point, though. Epic has a lot going on in Fortnite. It has a lot going on in the world. Not quite to the extent that they would like. Obviously, they can't get into an industry that shits money hand over fist, which is mobile, purely because of ongoing legal conversations. But there are other industries that can help top up some of that revenue, be that TV, be that cinema too. Epic is potentially looking at making scripted video programming, aka TV and film. What are your thoughts on that, babe?
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about Fortnite events, we're talking about the most talked about and most viewed video gaming event of that either particular day, month, week, year. It doesn't matter. What Epic do, and us as older gentlemen probably aren't into Fortnite as much as the rest of the world is. I mean, I love Fortnite. My opinion on it has completely changed over the years. After looking at it and going, that doesn't look like a big game whatsoever, because I'm not really into the battle royales, to seemingly being addicted to that particular season and completing it all the way through to level 100. Never thought I'd do it. Done it multiple times now. So I think when it comes down to creating something of that magnitude, it isn't directly aimed at us. It's aimed at a completely different demographic, but that doesn't stop it from being an absolute juggernaut. But we can probably go back to chapter 2, like Fortnite chapter 2, and having that as being the world's biggest event at that given time, based off of the world disappearing and just showing us a black hole for 3 days. Like on Twitter, they had that as a Twitter video that you could watch at any given time. YouTube, Twitch, the whole thing, the whole world was watching for 3 days, a black hole doing nothing. So if they was to make an event around something, or when a new season starts and they have that particular cutscene that may last like 5 minutes and it tells you the story, it explains the lore to you. I don't know who the characters would be based around. Would it be Ancient Jonesy or something like that? Who knows? But they have got a lore there for people to get in behind. Again, the demographic may not be us. It will make them a shit ton of money. And it definitely will be the most popular thing out at that given time. If something like the movie can get to #1 in the box office and smash all kinds of records, then Fortnite will exceed that by an absolute landslide. There's no two ways about it. Again, might not be aimed at us, but it's something that Epic will get back as a return on investment, regardless of whether or not they put 10 million, 50 million, 80 million pounds worth of production into it. They'll make that back within days and exceed that by millions.
I mean, actually, let me just before we continue, VFM Gamer, thank you very much for the raid. Good afternoon, anyone from VFM Gamer stream. Welcome in. Also, Pez Geek with the Jesse Lingard emotes in the chat. I mean, that absolutely deserves high fives. Crispest of high fives. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, even. Good afternoon. 100% they sell those shit popcorn tins with an exclusive Fortnite dance emote with the film. Potentially. Yeah, I mean, my worry with this is obviously Fortnite is still huge and continues to be huge and will probably continue to be huge for quite a considerable amount of time. But is this going to be like Angry Birds the movie? Not a bad film, if I'm being honest. It's not the greatest film, but not a bad film. But by the time Rovio had got through all of that sort of stuff, got the Angry Birds film and got it into cinemas, it was like 5 years nearly after.
Yeah.
And video games, 5 months is a long time, let alone 5 years. So if Fortnite starts developing that now, let's say it's 4 years, 5 years before it hits the cinemas, is that too long? Because Fortnite's already had its like 4 or 5 years period already, a decade after the hype almost, and it hits the cinemas. Is that too long for Fortnite? Or is that, I mean, it'll still be around and it'll still be big, just like Angry Birds still had an imprint, and it still has a little bit of an imprint now. But Angry Birds, if there was a time when you couldn't go to pick a supermarket, Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco, whatever, you will go in there will be Angry Birds pajamas in the kids section.
Yeah.
That's not the case now, and I don't think it was when the actual film hit the cinemas, or apart from the film-related merchandise, whereas Fortnite was everywhere. Will it still be there in 4 or 5 years' time? I mean, I suppose they could rush it out and have it in a couple of years' time, because Fortnite's animation stuff, all of their assets, I suppose, exist already within the games and the development sphere, so it'd just be a case of doing what they do for their seasonal trailers, but in a longer form. Maybe it's something that they can do a bit quicker, actually, potentially. But
I thought the bubble would have burst by now already, if I'm being honest. But again, it still holds a massive player base. Like, it will take you less than 20 seconds to get into a game. Compare that to a lot of other games on the market. That's nothing. That's you, I don't know, putting your earphones in or something like that, rather than, like, I'm not throwing PUBG under the bus with this one, but you could potentially go downstairs and make a bacon butter and a brew and get back upstairs in time for your match to actually start. Like, it takes forever to get into a game, whereas Fortnite, you blink and you're in a match. So there's still clearly an active player base there. There's still a demand for the product. Like you say, is 4 years, or it won't be 4 years. Let's be honest. Like you say, they've got the assets and everything ready. If they wanted to release that film tomorrow, they absolutely could do. They'll just need to get the writing and animation sorted out. So, if, for instance, they announce it today, 18 months, I think, would probably be the would be the ideal time for them to be able to get all the animations, all the voice acting done, and everything else that goes along with making a movie that I have no idea about. Obviously, they'll want a run of marketing up to that. Chances are it will loop into the game somehow. But yeah, I think it'll be hugely successful. I don't think the Fortnite bubble isn't gonna pop now. I thought if it would have done, it would have done by now, but it hasn't. It's, if anything, it's kind of steady. I don't see it increasing again unless something dramatically happens, like a film where it brings people back in again, or they do a timed event like the Star Wars one where everybody was loving that. Unless they do something like that again, I don't know. But the concerts still bring people back in again. Like if they were the Travis Scott one, not necessarily the Weezer one, but the Ariana Grande one. Was bringing people back in just to be able to experience that. So if these timed events are anything to go by, then yeah, the Fortnite film will be, I won't say exceptional, but it will definitely drive a demand for people to come back and either play it again or go to the cinema and watch it. Would I go to the cinema and watch
Yeah,
it?
you would. Yeah,
I don't know.
Bibby's already booked his tickets.
I don't know.
This
Yeah,
is
I think the
this is
jury
Bibby
was out on that
that's
one.
played Fortnite more than anyone else in this chat recently. Of course, you're already
Yeah.
there. All they need to do is say something that sounds remotely like lightsaber, and that's it. Bibby's there front and center. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was like, you talk about gaming memories, that absolutely will be one that I'll be talking about in 10 years' time.
yeah,
That Christmas of 2019 was something that I will never ever forget.
yeah,
And it's basically down to
ridiculously good.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite, lightsabers, Star Wars finale, Christmas cake, food, all of the things. And yeah, it was just exceptional. I mean, it was perfectly balanced because you could be shit at Fortnite and still win.
Yeah.
I mean, the long-time players hated it. I remember seeing people
Yeah.
that were grinding Fortnite for months and hated the fact that they get into a fight and they'd build like fucking the Empire State Building on top of the Taj Mahal with a little bit of the shard sticking out of the side and any other massive monuments that you can think of. And then me and Bibby would just come like, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, chop it all down. It's like, fuck, you've got no skill. It's like, yeah, still beat you though, mate.
Just being able to hold the left trigger and just block all the bullets that are coming towards you, like, again, triggered a lot of people. But it will be a game of memory that I lost so much sleep over that Christmas period because me and you were just staying up. Like, I was playing on my Nintendo Switch on the big TV, you was playing on your PS4 in the front room. Like, the amount of sleep I lost because of that game, again, will be the same Christmas memories that I had when I was 12 and unboxing like my PlayStation 2 and stuff like that and being able to play it around the Christmas. Like, these are one of the gaming memories, and regardless of what game it was, Fortnite was the game that was hot at that time, and I spent a stupid amount of time playing it. So the legacy that and footprint that Fortnite will leave, I think, will be there for a long time. I also think that in 2 years' time, I still think it was super relevant. Whether or not we're on Fortnite Chapter 3 by then or on Season 24, it doesn't matter. It will still be knocking about.
The
But
interesting
yeah,
thing
I
for
think
me is to start thinking about, okay, let's just assume it is happening. Who gets cast? Because Fortnite, clearly with the likes of Jonesy and Co. at first, didn't need names. It did its own thing and it was successful. However, Fortnite has since had every name pretty much. You want the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in there? Yeah, okay, we'll throw them in. You want any other Marvel Cinematic spin-offs like the Venom Carnage? Yeah, we'll get them in as well. You want
Venom.
yeah, exactly. There we go. Fuck, I need soundbite and get that on the stream decks or whatever. Yeah, we've mentioned it before. The pop vinyls of video gaming. If it's a good digital property, it's probably been in Fortnite in some way. Particularly if it's had a major release over the last 2 years, it's probably tied into Fortnite somewhere. So it'd be interesting to see. Is it going to be one of those sort of like when you see Warner Brothers release a new film or Disney releases a new film where they just throw in all of their old existing IPs for crossover? Usually see it in video games. You'll often get like a Ryu or a Ken or someone pop up in the background or the Metal Gear like exclamation mark.
Free Guy just did it.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of it in Free Guy. They had Marvel crossovers and all sorts of stuff. Not going to give any details because I imagine some people probably haven't seen it, but they've done a lot of it. Ready Player One did a bunch of it as well. I think Space Jam did some stuff as well or something. I've not seen it, the new one, but I think that did it as well because I saw an article on that. If you got IP, just cash in on by shoehorning them into everything else. They all feed off each other. Job's good. And Fortnite is the perfect example of that. So imagine the games that could drop in there. But if Emoji Movie can get Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise to appear as a poo, then what could fucking the Fortnite movie have? There's so much potential in there. Like you said, they've had Ariana Grande
Mario Bros.
in game. Ariana Grande has a skin in game. It's had obviously not. I'd want to say not mainstream, not real world when he's both, but Ninja. He's been in the game. Will Smith is in the game. Tom Hardy is in the game. So,
Yeah.
like, there's
John Wick.
legitimate crossover. Yeah, exactly. Legitimate crossovers with some massive, massive stars there already. LeBron James in the game. So, yeah, it's
Prescott.
yeah, just the list just keeps going, and then you've got all the ones that could just be put in because of the film, and then could have skins in the game, and then you start to think about, okay, Fortnite is very good at breaking the fourth wall ish. It breaks out of its own vertical and jumps into others. Video games, here's a story, we play it to the end. We may do a fourth wall break and speak to you, the user, whereas Fortnite just goes, okay, we're in our own vertical, but we're going to actually loop in a completely different game. Or we're going to have you stop playing the game to watch a concert within the game. We're going to have you stop playing the game to watch an end game sequence within the game. I mean, and then I'm starting thinking, do we get to watch the film of Fortnite, the game, in the game? Is there going to be a live broadcast of that where everyone sits there? That's where it does get me excited, because a lot of people will instantly and naturally, understandably, because of the amount of crossovers it's had, Fortnite can be a bit tedious. So a lot of people would be like, oh, Fortnite, fuck's sake. But I'm excited about the Epic stance on this. Epic have been very, very good at making Fortnite relevant, whether you like it or not. As Shaun said in the chat, for fuck's sake, my son's going to make me go see it. Exactly. But that's the point, though. Epic have done that. They've got your son interested. I'm excited to see how Epic activates this, because the phrase multiverse, you usually think about Spider-Man or the Marvel Cinematic Universes or Doctor Strange's or things like that. Thinking about that for Fortnite.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about that for Fortnite, it's a thing, and I'm interested to see how Epic would look to embed an external. What did they call it? I want to say film. What did they call it? An external scripted video program, not a film. An external scripted video program. How they embed that into the multiverse, because they'll have a plan for that. And, yeah, exactly. It's not a film. It's not a TV show. It's a scripted video program, actually. It's just a one scripted video program, actually. So yeah, that's the bit that I'm excited about, seeing how they do that, because that is the beauty of Epic. I mean, I'm looking at this just genuinely as a marketing professional / nerd, a marketing nerd. I like to see creative stuff that people that are either smarter than me or just as smart as me, but thought of something. Like when someone thinks of something new for the first time, that's like, that shit's exciting. That is good. And a lot of what Fortnite does, like just going to, I mean, I mentioned this before, just going to Gamescom and seeing Fortnite with the biggest stand at Gamescom and it not having one single console that you can play Fortnite on blew my mind. Who the fuck has spent £500,000 to go to a games expo and not allow you to play the game? It's the one that goes, oh, well, everyone's got the game at home / on their mobile. Why do we want them to play the game here? It's like, genius, absolute genius. Imagine any other business in the games industry. Mr. Middle level marketing guy goes to his boss and goes, I think we should not actually let people play our game at Gamescom. You'd just be like, it'd be like that meme of being thrown out of the top floor window kind of thing. Nope, get out of here. But Fortnite did that, and it worked exceptionally well. So I am interested to see how this works for them. Whether or not you're interested in a Fortnite film, I think that'd be good. What were you about to say?
You've got the biggest entity that has been in the video game realm forever.
What, the Scoop?
You will, well, obviously. Imagine the queue of people that will be queuing up to want to voice act in this film. Like, look at the Mario Bros. Film that got announced. You've got people like Seth Rogen and Chris Pratt. Every man and his dog is going to want to be in the Fortnite game. Hopefully, you'll have fantastic voice actors. You'll have people like, I don't know, Mark Hamill. But he's obviously a fantastic voice actor in terms of video games and playing the Joker in numerous different things as well. And you'll have something Troy. I always forget his first name. Troy Baker, sorry. Troy Baker. You'll have people like him do voice acting. It's just, in a world of Fortnite and knowing full well that it might not even make people's careers, but just well-established actors will be in their droves trying to get a voice acting job in the likes of Fortnite. It will, one, make them a stupid amount of money. Two, perhaps make them even more famous than they are, and have their acting abilities put forward into a completely different realm. Look what happened with Toy Story, for fuck's sake. Like, the voice actors in that film, like, they are synonymous now in video, in children's TV. I mean, children, I fucking love Toy Story. I will watch it at any given opportunity. But the likes of
You
Tom Hanks.
got a friend in me.
Yeah, the likes of Tim Allen and all those guys.
Huh?
It's just they are well established. Like that, their voices will never die with those characters, regardless of if they pass away in the next 5 or 10 years. Toy Story will still be going in 30 years' time. I will still be. I was showing Toy Story to my unborn child, which obviously in January will be the case. But as soon as they're able and conscious enough to be able to watch TV, like Toy Story is like the kind of thing that I grew up with, so will they as well. So this could be one of the kind of things that immortalize them. I know that's really deep, but it has got the ability to be able to do that. Fortnite might not be an entity in the video game world in 5 years' time, but if this movie has all of the famous actors of now being the voice actors in that, it will probably survive forever.
I mean, speaking of actors, Madge in the chat says Fortnite the film starring Dwayne Johnson, Dr. Disrespect, Jack Black, Chris Rock, and Ninja. I mean, that's the
I'd watch
thing.
that in a heartbeat.
Like, yeah, all day, and that's using some that have been in the game and some that haven't been in the game. Then, like, there's tons outside of that could easily be pulled in. And Tito says, what about a Chris Pratt / Mario crossover? Exactly, that sort of thing could happen. Nintendo have Fortnite on the Switch, so that's a really good crossover to get people buying Switches and therefore the new Mario movie tie-ins or whatever. There's going to be some sort of Mario movie tie-ins in the Nintendo sphere, 100%. So, yeah, I could see that work. And even if there isn't a Nintendo tie-in, that's one way that Nintendo can capitalize on that tie-in on the Switch. It's okay, we've got a new Mario movie. We don't have a Mario movie game. Let's do something Fortnite related on the Switch. Ta-da! So, I mean, that could happen. Bacon Chin says, afternoon, lads. Oh, treacle. To be fair, Patrick Stewart only wanted to do the movie if he could be the poop emoji. But exactly. That's the point, though. Imagine, like, the Emoji Movie didn't have anything behind it either, other than just the concept of emojis and that new technological millennial / Zoomer sort of crossover. Yeah, we want to be relevant. Let's do a film about emojis. That's all it was. Whereas Fortnite is that times a million. A lot of people didn't understand emojis, but wanted to be in it because they knew emojis were cool and things that kids were using these days. Fortnite is that, but tenfold. So if you've got someone like Patrick Stewart just happy to be involved as a poop emoji because it's quite funny, then who's going to be Agent Pele, kind of thing, that sort of stuff, or whatever. There may be more relevant references and crossovers and so on. But yeah. Probably get Tfue too. Exactly. Seen Toy Story over 1,000 times. The joy of having kids. I remember. This is how old I am. I remember buying News of the World or whatever it was, paper that had stamps in it for 7 days, buying the newspaper 7 days in a row to take my 7 stamps to Woolworths, which is a shop that doesn't exist anymore. I don't think the paper exists anymore. Take it into Woolworths to get a cassette of Toy Story's You Got a Friend in Me. And yeah, there you go. That's how big a Toy Story fan I was back in the day, mate.
I love Toy Story. It's definitely one of the films that you just can never get bored of.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't think.
It's not just the film though, like that. Me singing "You Got a Friend in Me." That song is timeless as well. Like it's ridiculous. The film has aged incredibly well, but so has like the music and it's exceptional. I mean, we were talking about Resident Evil the other day, and you're saying how bad the liquor looks. Some things are just designed timelessly, and Toy Story looks just as good now as it did watching it 20 years ago, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a new Toy Story being made, says ads. Toy Story 1 rebooted. Really? You ever seen the original script of Toy Story? Disney rejected it and nearly canned the movie after they originally penned Tom Hanks as the villain. What? He was creepy as fuck. No, I've not seen that one, no. I didn't even realise until just the other day. Does anyone remember Chris Farley? Like a
American comedian, wasn't he?
Yeah, he used to do Saturday Night Live stuff. Me and David had quite a soft spot for Chris Farley growing up. He was in like Tommy Boy and Beverly Hills Ninja and all sorts of other stuff. He was Black Sheep was another film. He was cast to be Shrek. He was gonna be Shrek, and they'd done all of the castings and like loads of like. If you go on YouTube, you can find Eddie Murphy and a script reading with Chris Farley as well. The videos got put online, and it was only because he died that they recast what's Mike Myers who then added his Scottish brogue accent to Shrek afterwards. I didn't realise that they'd filmed almost all of the lines of the film for it. I didn't realise. I thought it was always supposed to be that. Imagine a film where Shrek wasn't Mike Myers and it wasn't like, get out of my swamp. It fucking just sends... Yeah, anyway. Jesus, Graham. Collecting your pension soon. I feel like it today, mate. Absolutely. It's brilliant, says Bonsai. It's a fucking exceptional film, Toy Story. On a tangent, don't interrupt your point on this. You playing Back for Blood after this, Ice Cream of Puds? Not today, sir. No. Don't... yeah, we don't have copies. Well, I don't. Baby does, because, Xbox Master Race over there, PC Master Race and that. But also, Baby's in the studio, I'm at home, and we've not... locked in the time and stuff. Maybe this evening, potentially. I don't know, but I've not even spoken to Bibby about that, other than just saying maybe this evening. Right then, so
I've got football tonight, so it definitely won't be. I won't be playing tonight. Thursday, I think, is probably the earliest I'll be able to jump on.
So definitely tonight and tomorrow. Then nice, yeah. All the cool people tonight and tomorrow. Yeah. Then it drops off a bit on Thursday. Anyway, probably not today. Probably not today. The link to the story of Toy Story. I'm going to open that one up and keep that as a tab for later on. Don't autoplay. There we go.
I like reading.
Anyway, let's move ahead. So if you missed that, Epic Games is considering making a Fortnite film. It's not a Fortnite film. It's a Fortnite scripted video program. So there you go. Completely different things. David says it was The Sun and News of the World, because we didn't know the last token was in News of the World, so we had to ring around to see if anyone bought it. Is that what it was? Was the News of the World the Sunday version of it or something? Imagine having to buy the rag just to get a Toy Story tape. Ooh. We'll let you off, Graham. You were young. You didn't know back then. Tito says it's on Game Pass. Talking about Back for Blood, by the way. For a low monthly fee of $9.99, you get access to hundreds of games and even day one releases, including Back for Blood. And you can even get the first 3 months for only £1. Pow! There you go. Anyway, enough of Epic considering making a Fortnite film. If you want to play Back for Blood, you can buy it. For PlayStation, for PC, for Xbox, but it's also included in Xbox Game Pass as well. However, if you have an Xbox and it's broken, this is an absolute tangent, bear with it, we'll get there eventually. If you have an Xbox and it's broken, you wouldn't be able to play it. You'd have to send your Xbox off, wait a couple of weeks for it to go to Germany or wherever they fix them these days, for them to go, yep, it's definitely broken, we will fix it, and then 2 weeks later you get your Xbox back. Whereas if it was something simple, maybe you could have just opened it up and fixed it yourself if you knew what you were doing. I mean, a man like KK, he builds PCs with his eyes closed, so fixing an Xbox, he's got this. Well, that actually might be possible going forward, as this article from Don Peppiatt of VG247 says, shareholders have pressured Microsoft into rethinking its approach to right to repair. Microsoft has promised to re-examine the possibility of letting consumers repair their own consoles and equipment in the future. So Microsoft is one of the first major tech companies to respond to calls to re-examine its stance on right to repair, and has pledged to rethink its stance on the subject and make changes to its policies by the end of next year. Per Grist and the shareholder advocacy group, As You Saw, Microsoft is willing to address the concerns of the right to repair movement and has agreed to hire an independent consultant to look into the benefits of giving consumers more tools and rights when it comes to repairing their own tech. Traditionally, access to parts and repair documentation has been made intentionally tricky for consumers, as companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Samsung prefer to coax consumers into using expensive repair partners or buying new products outright to replace faulty goods. As You Saw conducted a shareholder resolution back in June this year, asking Microsoft to look into, quote, the environmental and social benefits, end quote, of allowing consumers to repair their devices. And the pressure seems to have worked. Microsoft will publish a summary of its findings by May 2022, and though the advocacy group says the pledge is, quote, an encouraging step, end quote, it remains to be seen just how much Microsoft is going to change its policies. As per The Verge, Microsoft will use this step as a guide for its product design and plans for expanding device repair options in the future, so it could yet amount to very little actual change. It's worth noting at this point also that Microsoft has historically been involved with lobbying against right to repair laws in Colorado and Washington. Here's hoping Microsoft and Xbox engaging with the right to repair movement actually moves the conversation forward a little and prompts other large tech companies to follow suit. Some key voices of the right to repair movement have already seen this agreement as encouraging and forward thinking, so let's hope it gains a little more traction in the months and years ahead. Were you aware of right to repair? I'm a point, I didn't know it. Mr. Bit.
No, I wasn't actually. I always thought if you was to open your console up, your warranty's void unless it was at a specific repair shop, like one that was approved is the word I'm looking for, like an approved fixer, like an approved,
Well,
someone who
like MC
approved
fixer.
technician. Yeah, like an approved technician that could repair it for you. I thought it would be void unless you do something like that. It makes sense. I mean, if I was to go in now and like update my SSD or something like that, I don't think it would necessarily void my warranty. But if there's certain parts in there, like applying um, thermal paste to a CPU and then putting the heatsink back on, that would probably void your warranty. And it's such an easy thing to be able to do. How would they know that that was what you were trying to do? So, for instance, if I went to put some thermal paste on my CPU because it started to rub off, like you had to do it on your PS4 Pro.
I
I
gave
never
up in
did
the
that on
end.
the. Yeah.
I found out that opening certain bits, you could basically. There's an easy bit of unclipping the lid, but then after that, there was like 20 parts that had to be taken out. I was like, fuck
Yeah.
it. PS5's out in 3 months. I'll just grin and bear it. Which made for good
So
Twitch content.
So there's different levels of you being able to change stuff and amend stuff and keep it updated. But who's to say that I tried to put thermal paste on and then break something else, but then I tell them that I just tried to put thermal paste on and that thing naturally broke itself? Like, how would they be able to say yes to one thing and no to another? And the only thing that I can think of is if there was to have that void tape that you can get on the outside, or if you break this seal, it's usually on the bottom of your PlayStation, for instance. It's underneath a screw is underneath the void tape. So if you was to try and unscrew that, they would automatically know that you've got into the console. And it's not just broken naturally. So I think that's probably the only way that they're able to do it. I think it's a very sticky situation for one, the consumer to try and do something, and two, for Xbox to say, actually, you've done this yourself. This isn't wear and tear. This is you actively changing something or modifying something or trying to repair something yourself. It hasn't been taken to an approved technician. You fucked it, basically.
Just jumping back through the chat, let me catch up. Plumerico says, my Xbox is broken. It's on its way back from Germany. Hey, there you go. Here, right to repair is a must, says KK. Plumerico again says, my Series X was under warranty, so I wouldn't have used an external, but right to repair is a must. Tito says, have you seen Apple? They are the worst. They introduce software locks to prevent genuine parts being used by third party. It's shady shit when they're purporting to be eco-friendly, banging about how they use recycled materials. I mean, if Apple were really eco-friendly, when there was the conversations about switching to mini or micro USB about 8 years ago, and everyone agreed to whichever one it was, and Apple went, yeah, we've agreed to get rid of our 32-pin connector, and we've also gone for a small connector. Which one, mini or micro USB? Neither. We've gone for Lightning. Oh, great! Yeah, that's exceptional. Nice proprietary bits just for yourself that makes extra production. Great. So yeah, Apple don't give a shit. I mean, I'm saying that as an Apple user, by the way. Yes,
There is something that's been changing about that, isn't there? Like, I think it's UK or European law that's forcing every manufacturer to have USB-C going forward.
Yeah, which I fully welcome. USB-C is better than mini or micro because it's obviously both ways round. I hate using love this controller. This is my Scuff controller, but I can never remember which one's which. Whatever a PS4 controller used, mini or micro, I don't care enough to remember because whatever. But USB-C works either way around, and it's on my PlayStation controller, it's on my PlayStation headset, it's on the Nintendo Switch, it's on new smartphones and stuff. So why Apple isn't using that is just purely ego and selfishness. But they're trying to get to the MagSafe stuff anyway, aren't they? So they can ditch all that stuff and just get you that way. Anyway, complete whole tangent. But a lot of that is just locking you into it's captive audience. You have to get your phone fixed. You need that phone. You have to get that console fixed. You need it. Yeah, maybe not as much need, but no, I would say there is a need in a lot of people's lives for consoles. Just as much as it is for having a phone. Having a phone is seen as an emergency contact thing, but having a console for a lot of people is emergency escapism. Without their consoles, life would be shit. So some people need consoles. and they know that you need that, and it costs a lot of money. And what are your alternatives? You go out and spend 350 quid on a new console or more, or you jump yourself into a fucking scalper queue to try and find a console, or do you send it off? Oh, I can get you one, by the way. I'll only make a penny on it, by the way. Or do you send it off to Germany, Berlin, wherever, where they fix it and bring it back to you in a few weeks? If it's in warranty, job's good. And if it's not, well, it's going to cost you 80 quid. 80 quid is quite expensive when the parts probably only cost like 6 quid and it takes 20 minutes probably to do. But captive audience, you can't go anywhere else. There's not really documentation out there, paperwork to show you how to do it either, because they don't make that stuff freely available. Even if you're thinking, do you know what, it's out of warranty, what does it matter if I break the seal? So I'm for this. I am very much for this. I don't like having things locked down. I like Apple locking its ecosystem down from a software standpoint in terms of having the App Store and things like that, which makes Apple phones, they last generally, obviously, a lot of people have many different examples. In my lifetime and from my experience, Apple phones last longer than Samsung or Huawei or HTC phones, Android phones. And that's, that's when Apple isn't killing the batteries on them, because, you know, there's that side of it too. But it basically allows you to do your own things. But that's the point. If you need to replace the battery on your phone, right to repair, you can't really change that. You have to take your phone into an Apple store, spend 120 quid on this battery that's died because they've throttled it, or because the battery they put in it is shit. Whereas if you can just change that battery out, job's good. I used to be able to change the battery on my 5110. Why can't I change the battery on my iPhone?
They want you to buy it, don't they?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like it'd be not. I think Apple probably would have. They're now being forced, as far as I'm aware, to have this USB-C going forward, which obviously isn't good for them and their lightning cables. But if they were, maybe if they would have patterned that out for everybody else to be able to use that on their products. So, like my phone, for instance, my Android phone, if I could have used a lightning cable, they would have made the money long term down the road. So, it's all right having the patent pending stuff, but can you see them being forced to use USB-C? Apple, do you reckon they'll cave in? I don't think they will, unless they are genuinely forced.
Yeah, I think you say. I was about to say, and unless they're actively forced to, I don't think they will, because there's a lot of things out there that exist already that already have that. That said, I could actually see them, because if you have like desk chargers, if you have bedside chargers, if you have charger cables, if you have devices, if you have headsets and all these peripherals and accessories, a lot of companies are like, yeah, if we change the cable port, that means that they don't work, or we have to sell an accessory. Apple sees that and goes, okay, if we change the cable port, that means that we get to sell all new accessories and peripherals. So Apple, I actually genuinely think, could do, when I think about it, a bit more like that. They're thinking, okay, rather than just getting a new phone, we will be getting a new phone. People will have to buy new this, that, and the other. And so, yeah, maybe they could do, actually, because greedy fuckers. But coming back to Xbox, rethinking the right to repair approach, I am all on board for this. I think it's faster. We're in a world where people are much more comfortable changing a graphics card in a PC. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when you had a PC, invariably it was in a cream box rather than a nice glassy whatever one. It would just be some big dirty crappy thing with a disk drive on the top of it, and you'd put it under your desk or whatever, and you'd never look at it ever again, kind of thing. Whereas today, people are very, very comfortable opening up their PC, applying thermal paste to their heat sinks, changing the power supply unit when it's overloaded or fucking whatever. So just being able to open up the console and change some bits like that. If Microsoft are allowing that, I'm fully on board for it. Although there was a comment in chat from David that was quite good. There was a few actually. Let me just scroll back up. Keiki says, I traded my first PS4 Pro to get the quiet one because I couldn't be asked opening it up. Yeah, I just grinned and bear it because I couldn't be bothered. It was like start of lockdown sort of stuff, and I know I was getting a PS5, so I just grinned and bear it, apart from that clip that I posted in the chat. This bit from David. This is convenient that Apple are rethinking the right to repair, as almost everyone has praised Valve for making a video and putting it on YouTube about how to open the Steam Deck and change parts. And that's the thing. Microsoft are very, very, very good at the moment at finding out what is a good social message and a social trend and jumping on it. Microsoft were really shit at that in the last generation. But one thing Microsoft have been very, very good so far is talking the talk. The proof, though, is can they walk the walk? Will they walk the walk? As the article mentioned, Apple have been against, not Apple, keep saying Apple because I've mentioned now, Microsoft have been against right to repair quite vociferously. They've been lobbying against it in Colorado and Washington, it says in this article here. So that's a big U-turn. Are they just doing this because it's a good message? Xbox has a lot of good messages, which I heavily applaud. But if those messages are just lip service, then I won't forget that. So if Xbox are talking consumer first, we've got Game Pass, we want to give people easy ways in, we want to bring peripherals from last gen to this generation, we want right to repair, and then when they start to get out in front and then they get a bit complacent, if that doesn't stand firm, then okay, now we see. Just like we're holding PlayStation firm. PlayStation's messaging was exceptional a generation ago. Now, not as much. It's not as consumer focused anymore. It's we want to look after the consumer as long as we're making a shitload of money. obviously. And Microsoft aren't mentioning the shitload of money stuff yet. But if that's the case, then okay, yeah, fair enough. Anyway. Apple phones are generally easy to repair and cheaper to repair than their Android counterparts. Just genuine parts are not available new from Apple. See, there you go. I don't know. I take it to a store where some guy wearing chinos and a red t-shirt with a lanyard around his neck laughs at me as he takes thousands of pounds away from me for just changing one port on it. Yep, that'll be £10,000, please. USB should be universal. We all have countless cables we no longer use but don't throw out, says Tito. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Leans over to the drawer. The first thing that he finds is a fucking super long USB cable. Yeah. Oh, there's another USB cable. Yeah. I know what you mean. If we can get rid of all of the cables and make everything solidified into one single thing, yes, please. I'm on board for that all day. Only by Apple, who monopolise the price, though, which is part of the issue. Plum Rico says Frankfurt, Germany. That's where it is. I sent like 3 Xbox 360s off. That was the worst generation for me for replacements. Both Xbox and PlayStation in that generation did me dirty. My Huawei is going strong nearly 4 years after I got it. No issue with their build quality. My OnePlus I got in April, however, is dead already, thanks to a cracked curved screen being stupidly weak. Yikes. Well, my iPhone 13 Pro Max is still in a store where it's going to be for the next 4 weeks because there's no fucking stock. But apart from that, this one's all right. Yeah.
My Huawei is fine. They're a little bit annoying. Like I probably won't get another Huawei now because you can't have the Google Play Store and stuff like that on it, which is obviously if you want to jailbreak it, you can put all that stuff on. But fresh out the box, it isn't there. I'm probably going to have to move on from it and go to a Samsung or something like that. But I was in the iPhone ecosystem originally with 3GS. I really liked the phone. Just there was better options out there when I would come to renew my contract, and I haven't really looked back since. But yeah, I did. I had an iPod Touch as well. That was fucking iPod Touches were probably the greatest bit of tech that I have ever owned, and I've owned a lot of tech. It was everything that you could do on a mobile phone just without the calls. It was amazing.
I never got an iPod Touch because I went 3GS and I had iPod before that, so I never needed a Touch. So I thought, I'll just come by both. I'll go for the iPhone 3GS, and then I've been iPhone since.
I first played Paper Toss on my iPod Touch.
Oh, don't get us started on Paper Toss again. We'll be here for days. Yeah, seeing those quote 3K to replace parts. They don't really need replacing. They just want to monopolize and upsell all the time. Exactly the reason I first heard of right to repair. Tesco stopped selling pretzels. The bell ends. What the fuck? Eric's with us like whiplash. The conversation changes that fast. Wow. Wes says, sorry, it was lurking while I shot people. Graham with a deep voice issue today. Yeah, the baby's microphone issue that he had in the studio. It's just followed me home. I don't know how. Also, West with the absolute to 100 IQ. He full on predicted, and I responded with a joke gif, but West responded to my tweet. So when we went live, I put. Let me show you the tweet. This tweet out. So live now with a scoop. Heads up, I sound poorly today. I am wearing this sexy new under the radar shirt. So life's not all bad. So there's the picture of the shirt and the neon sign kind of thing. West responded with, I see you're wearing the red shirt now. Were you topless when you took this photo? Yes, I was. I had it on, I had it on the hanger to put on, and I thought, fuck, I need a picture of it. So I obviously laid it on the box in front of me, took the pictures, half butt naked, which is obviously not butt naked, but still half butt naked. So yeah, nice thinking around the full-on fucking Sherlock Holmes to me there. God damn it. Snyder's honey and mustard pretzel pieces. Don't know if I've had those ones. Just pretzel flips, chocolate pretzels. Game winner. Apple right to repair pays £300 to repair when your phone's worth £200. Exactly. Everyone needs a cable drawer. Yeah, I've got a cable room.
I've got a box.
Yeah,
just all the electrical cables and shit, that graphics cards and Wi-Fi cards, like just a box of shit that I know I'll never use, but you never know when it may come in useful.
Yep. Good old love it. Cable drawer, 100% / cable room / cable house / just fucking bring me the cable. I can bodge a connection to anything with my draw of cables. Think I've even got a SCART. Who even uses SCART anymore? Do you know what? I threw out a SCART the other week because I don't think I will ever need that. Guarantee something's going to need one now. Nothing in my house uses SCART. So I was like, that's it. Nope. I can comfortably throw my SCART away. I mean, Cat 5 cable. Oh, yeah, Ethernet cable. Yeah, that's going in the drawer. You never know when you need a 250 meter Ethernet cable. But yeah. Huawei's dead now because Google bought their service on it. 13 Pro Max is so good, though. Battery lasts for 10 hours. Screen on time. Not charged it for 3 days. I mean, that was the kind of how 10S Max was for me, but I get a day out of it now. Fuckers. I mean, enough, but not. It used to be like more than enough. Anyway, same baby. I've absolutely loved my Huawei P20 Pro. Camera's still one of the best out there, but can't go for a new one. Just de-lurking coming into this. Cars have now gone the opposite way. I used to be able to change brake pads, etc. Now it's so much hassle to get in to change even a bulb. I'll happily pay the guy at Halford's £9 to replace it for me, and that's kind of what they want. I mean, part of that with cars is the idea of getting more technology and squashing things in, make it more space, and blah blah blah. But part of it is that as well. Yeah, I'm saying I would never replace a bulb now. I would just get someone else to do it for me because that's just too much like effort nowadays. Nothing beats my Nokia 3310. Actually, Nokia 3330, mate. Nokia 3330. That's a 3310.
Yeah, nothing beats it in a fight.
Yeah, exactly. Not even lava, mate. But yeah, 3330, that's a 3310 with internet. I mean, shit internet, but still, you were like an absolute god when you had a 3330. I did. I have a Fiesta ST, a 2-litre engine and a tiny engine bay. I let Halford do anything they can to avoid getting into it myself. 100%. Wish Mrs. D walked in when you were taking the fall, looked at you topless, shook her head, and then walked out. She always shakes her head and walks out anyway. It's just, I'm used to it. Tesco's wasabi and chili mix for the win. KFC crisps, mate. There you go. Counter. You could build a house with 3310s and not even the big bad wolf could knock it down. Exactly. My car needs repairing after smoking Graham on the way home. Easy, Tiger. We don't talk to people. Also, you wish you smoked me on the way home. You were disappearing in my rearview mirror, stuck behind some little old deer in a car. Bye, mate. Anyway, drive safe, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move ahead.
That's brought it really well.
We'll jump into one more article, and then I think we'll probably call it there because we are running over with a nice, good old conversation. Sticking with Xbox, though, we'll jump into this one. Written by Fraser Gilbert at Pure Xbox, and I believe was shared by Tito in the Discord yesterday. Rumours continue to suggest Xbox Game Pass is nearing 30 million subscribers. Quote, I've been told it's closer to 30 than 20. Put it that way. So the CEO of Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick, made headlines a couple of weeks ago by suggesting Xbox Game Pass now boasted 30 million subscribers, although head of Xbox Phil Spencer was reluctant to confirm that statement at the time. Since then, a couple of journalists with inside knowledge have shared what they've heard. VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb highlighted that it was below 23 million last quarter, but he didn't know the exact number. And now Windows Central editor Jez Corden has mentioned via the Xbox 2 podcast that it's closer to 30 than 20. Microsoft hasn't officially acknowledged Xbox Game Pass subscriber numbers since all the way back in January of 2021, at which time it was said to boast 18 million members. We're assuming Microsoft will remain quiet until that magical 30 million number is reached, which would be a major milestone if it could be achieved this year. At the very least, it's definitely somewhere between 20 and 30 million, and it seems like it's nearing the latter. How many subs do you think Xbox Game Pass has right now? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I mean, that was a pretty obvious question to end there, boys. I mean, you had a good article up until that point. Come on, think bigger, think bigger. Anyway, babe, how many subs do you think Xbox Game Pass has right now? Let us know in the scoop.
Yeah, well, I think it'll.
Successful. Fuck's sake! We haven't had this in a long old time. But Sky just wants to let us know that it's here as well. It's like, oh, right to repair? Have this, motherfuckers. Pow. Are we back? Do let us know if we're back. Was watching on my Google Hub, so I wasn't sure. Are we back now? Are we back? Refresh? Do let us know if we're back, because then we can... Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry, babe. Start that again. So you talking about subscriber numbers and the fact that I'd mentioned in the Discord.
Yeah, so obviously that's something that I think you'll jump onto after this. But it's the exact conversation that I had this morning with the guys upstairs in the office, saying that if I'm paying £8 a month, I am flying through these games like there's no tomorrow. Like, if I was to go out and buy a game for £50 or £60, I will play that game for a while. I will complete it, maybe trade it in, or just put it back on the shelf. Whereas Game Pass, I'm installing it. Maybe I don't like it, I uninstall it, or maybe I do like it, I complete it, and then I move on to the next one. I can play 7 or 8 games a month with Game Pass, whereas obviously I can't do that with a video game. I can't go to a shop and spend £50 on 8 games. My wife would kill me, and I'll be in so much debt. It's untrue. The credit card will be through the roof. So does that make it a sustainable model? I don't know. It all depends on how much they are paying to have the games that are on there initially. We talked yesterday. Again, this feels like I'm regurgitating the stuff that I mentioned yesterday, but we talked about how much Epic are paying to have a game on there every single week. Now, these are first party games, so it may not cost them anything, but it will still cost them to develop the game, and how they recruit that money back, whether or not it's through a subscription or someone going to the shop and buying it, they will still have a projection of how much that's going to make them, whether it's on day one or not. So is it a sustainable model? I don't know. Time will tell. I hope so, because it's giving me the time of my life when it comes to playing video games. It means that, like Back 4 Blood today, that's come out. It's available day one. Am I going to go home and download it? Yes. Am I going to play it today? Probably not. But I've got the ability to be able to do that if I had the time to be able to do that, and that is amazing. I paid £8 and I've got these hundreds of games that are coming out day one. It's amazing. It's an amazing subscription. Is it sustainable? Again, that's the only time will tell, I imagine.
Yeah, that's the conversation line that I went for. If you're not in our Discord, exclamation mark Discord in the chat, we'll give you the link. Tito shared the article, to which I responded saying, the fact that if they have 30 million subscribers, what was the numbers that Tito said? I can't open it up on Discord because obviously
I'll run through it if you want.
Oh, there we go. I've got it here. So Tito says that's 300 million a month Microsoft are making on Game Pass before payments / rebates to devs and publishers, which is a huge chunk of money. But there will be an absolute wedge paid out, which is like, it's easy to think, okay, that's mega money. Like Wes says in the chat there, that's 9 zeros, that's $1 billion, right? 3 billion a year. I can never remember anymore. we'll say it's $1 billion. I think it's $1 billion. 3,000 million is $1 billion. Yeah, okay. So that's 3 billion a year, which is a shit ton of money. The thing is, like, that money doesn't actually go that far. I mean, it goes a fucking way farther than anything I've ever seen. But still, like, if you are releasing, because one thing that Xbox has said is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was one first party game every 3 months, right? It wasn't every month. I think it was every 3 months. And if we go off the stats, and these are PlayStation stats, so it might not be the same as applicable to Xbox, but you kind of assume next-gen gaming costs are gotta be kind of the same. I think it was Shaun said that PlayStation was over 100 million to create first-party titles for PlayStation. In the next gen, he could see costs for that increasing up to 200 million per first party title. So let's say Xbox are still at 100 million and they have 300 million a month. If they're spending, was it 300 million a month? I think it was. If they're spending 100 million of that every quarter on a new game, that's a good chunk gone. That's 1/9 of profits gone. But there's also still outlays for the brands. So Warner Brothers and Back 4 Blood being on Game Pass day one will be a lot of money spent. And it's not just a case of they will go, okay, well, there's 100 million, we'll get your game free. There's probably some of that. There's probably some parachute payments or continuing payments. There's probably performance payments as well. So if Back 4 Blood has a big peak and then continues to peak, it will probably cost more. But then you've got that for Back 4 Blood. You've got all of the EA Play stuff that's currently ongoing. Wasn't there multiple other tie-ins as well? That Xbox Game Pass gave you. So there's a lot of things that add extra costs to Microsoft. So that money is a lot of money, but I bet it disappears very, very quickly, which is why the way I wrapped it back up again on Discord is it still makes it the best deal in gaming. Because if you start to pull in how much they actually earn, how much they potentially need to be like consistently profitable going forward. I think when we went off of the numbers previously, wasn't it something like 150 million subscribers needed to continue to be profitable with the full next gen game development experience or something like that? So you need to times your subscribers by 5 essentially to be fully profitable. That makes Game Pass an absolute exceptional deal because it's not affordable. It's not possible. And everyone says if you see something on the internet that's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. It's not true. But that's what Game Pass is. It's too good to be true, but yes, it is also true. You're not only getting something that's not possible because it's not financially sustainable, but you also get it as well. So if you're an Xbox user, Game Pass is incredible. And unless there's some numbers somewhere that somebody hasn't uncovered that make this more profitable than it seems, or maybe they are absolutely lowballing devs, then from it, obviously that's still not perfect. That's still not sustainable because if they are lowballing devs and not paying them their dues, then the games will start to, over time, become shit. If you get what you pay for eventually. If you pay below market rate for a marketable product, then the next one's probably going to be poorer because they're not going to deliver to the same standard. It's just the way economy works, business works. So whatever it is, wherever the money is going or not going, right now, users have an exceptional deal. So it does not surprise me that Xbox has just hit 30 million subscribers. Whether that's sustainable, whether it's a step towards sustainable, whatever, I'm not sure. Right now, it looks like an absolute steal. So if you're an Xbox user and you don't have Xbox Game Pass, what are you doing? I mean, I have.
It's hot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have an Xbox, but I don't have Game Pass. But my Xbox is just my Twitch console on my TV. So there you go. Candy Bear, hey, welcome into the stream. How are you doing? I have to ask a question now because I've been in Nacho's streams quite a little bit. I was in yesterday as well while you were playing with Nacho after you redeemed the games with Nacho bit. I was adjusting my setup, so I had you on my speakers. Are you the one that sings Gaming Nacho with his shotgun? Because that's exceptional. How many bits does it cost to get one for ice cream upwards? Yeah, welcome in. Good afternoon. Okay, let me jump back through the comments then. 100% majority of those subs are the £1 deal. That's a good point as well. I'd not even factored that in. So a lot of people are only paying £1 for however many months of Game Pass 2. So
it's 3 months, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that makes it even less sustainable. And that's not hating. It's an exceptional deal. It's just I just don't get how it works long term, which is why I'm saying best deal in gaming, and I will not back down on that. It's not possible, but yet it exists. So how can you beat that? So yeah,
£1's ridiculous. I'm paying £8 because I've got Games Pass for PC, and I still feel like I'm robbing them. It's ridiculous. It's like fair enough if Netflix, for instance, you're paying it's probably £10 a month now, and you're watching TV series and films whenever they get put on, which may be, I don't know, either day one if it's a Netflix original, if it's a film that's been out in the cinema, it may be, I don't know, 8 to 12 months later, going to the cinema, part of 16 quid. Cineworld near me is ridiculous how expensive it is to go. But still, for £8, I am playing games that may have 60 hours worth of content, and I can play them at my leisure. I can install 10 of them if I want, and just flick between them every other hour, and I've still got a stupid amount of content there. So I feel like I should be paying them more, if anything, and I probably will do it eventually. They're gonna.
Yeah,
They tried to do it with Xbox Live, didn't they? They tried to
yeah.
put that up, and people rebelled against it. So eventually, it's going to come back to bite us in the ass. We have to pay double that, like what PlayStation Now was. It was 15 quid. Ridiculous. It never should have been at that price point. But you feel like you probably get your money's worth if it's £15 for Xbox Game Pass easily.
Yeah, I reckon so. I think the key point is Microsoft aren't paying for the development of many of these titles. Sony is spending a hell of a lot for first-party development. Yeah, but that's not necessarily key in the cost of it, though, because even if only one title every 3 months is a first-party title, that's still $100 to $200 million financial outlay. But it's still expensive. I mean, if we look at the figures, not that we can definitely go off those figures, but if we look at the figures that Epic were paying to get games exclusive on free games with Epic deals, obviously they give away games weekly every week, which we remind you on Free Game Friday. But they were spending millions on that, on half-rate games. And the fact that EA Play is available in Game Pass, I don't know if it still is, I obviously don't have Game Pass, but it was, that's got a cost. That will have a cost attached to it somewhere. So they aren't just spending, they're saving money on development, but they're also spending on massive titles. What was the game that came out that went straight to get, it was
Gears of War.
Well, I was thinking more recently. There was baseball, so made by Sony Studios that you had to pay for on PlayStation. You got it free in Game Pass. Ta-da! But there's things like that. There's games that have come out straight onto Game Pass that just instantly cripples the PlayStation audience, which to get that level of support will cost as well. But yeah, definitely win a chicken dinner for the users anyway. True NX, but I'm guessing the figure will constantly have people joining and leaving the subscription. Guess the developers are also making extra money from DLC season passes. I mean, that's where developers you kind of feel would benefit out of this sort of program is if you don't have any in-game purchases and stuff, then DLC season passes, that's where they kind of need to top it up with money, which then is quite a dangerous world when it comes to subscription-based gaming, because it's a case of, do you start to see specific types of game? Not everybody wants in-app purchases or DLC. People want to pay for a closed experience. And if developers don't earn enough money from doing that, is it sustainable for indie developers? If you've got a 45-minute game that's a single-player game that's just an experience by an indie dev, and you don't say that their revenue is played on number of hours played or number of repeat plays or whatever, and there's no the imagination, the design was just, no, I want 45 minutes in, out, boom, people to just enjoy, then that's where you get the dangers of that sort of stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. We're an hour and a half into the scoop, so we're gonna have to start wrapping things up. So we'll put a pin. We'll put a pin in this one. We'll no doubt talk about it because Game Pass is an exceptional talking point. So we'll come back to it. Let's just carry on wrapping up the comments though. Microsoft only paying for third party until their first party are firing all cylinders. Then it will be like Netflix with its originals content. There is barely any third party stuff on Netflix these days, apart from films. Exactly the model. West, Game Pass gives a lot of these games players who wouldn't have otherwise played it, and the additional income in sales through that on top of any fees Microsoft pay them. I mean, there's all sorts of studies as well that's shown that Microsoft's Game Pass has actually helped developers elsewhere. So say if the first game of a franchise is added to Game Pass, or the latest game in a franchise is added to Game Pass, a lot of people are going out and then buying the games previously that were previously released to add to that, which adds extra revenue to developers as well. So that's the thing. I'm not sure Game Pass is sustainable for developers, but I'm also not sure that it isn't. I have concerns, but I don't know where that is. Don't know why I felt the need to tag you twice. It's just so good you need to tag him twice. I appreciate it though. Candy Bear has the best singing voice on Twitch. Excuse me. Don't make me press voice mod buttons because I will. Yeah. No, okay.
You've been warned.
I'm probably not in that conversation, particularly with the way my voice is today. the lurgy is not going to help. Sure is great. There you go. Yes, that is me. I'm glad you enjoy your theme. It's exceptional. It's good. Also, earworm potential, by the way. So once I've heard it, that's me done for the day. I was reading, allegedly, Microsoft have only announced a third of their first-party lineup of games. Not sure about that, though. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Microsoft has been building up its catalogue of studios for about 6 years now, 5 years-ish. And if you think the average game takes 2 to 4 years to hit market, and Microsoft went from being behind studios, total number of studios, to PlayStation, to being almost double them. And they haven't really shown anything for that. They've not just bought studios to just sit there. They've bought studios to play PlayStation, pun intended, at their own game. And I fully expect Microsoft to be like, banger, 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 hit game, massive game. Yeah, maybe some flops in there, obviously, that happens. But I think they will have so many games back to back that won't be a conversation anymore. Microsoft just doesn't have the games to compete with PlayStation. It has the better systems, the better consoles, the better infrastructure, but not the games, which is the key thing. And I think that will change. It's just whether PlayStation can then keep up with Microsoft or get them so far enough ahead that they don't have to worry about that. But Microsoft have done an exceptional well. Anyway, exceptional well over the last generation, but we will have to put a pin in this because we are way over the hour-ish that we have for the scoop. I always hear kind of singing when I pick up a shotgun. Well, it's like that's same for me with you, but with a deagle. So there you go. Worcestershire sauce. Yes, I agree. If you are in the stream, hey, thank you. We appreciate you sticking around for an hour and a half and the stream dropping out. I know that we did have a dropout. That's the first time that has happened in about 2 months. Hopefully Sky are not returning back to their previous ways. Obviously, we did lose a lot of viewers as that happened, but it's fine. The people that are still here, we appreciate you. We are going to disappear. There's going to be no additional stream. 1, because it's a Tuesday. 2, because Bibby's in the studio. I'm at home. And 3, because I have the lurgy as well. So there will be no additional stream. So stick around as we raid one of our friends. We will drop a raid on a channel. We don't know who yet, but someone that we care about. So do feel free to go join the raid because 1, you get yourself some sprinkles. If you stick around a raid, you get sprinkles that you can spend on our channel. Those are our channel points. You can spend it just making me sit up straight, or you can spend it on a sub if you stick around for long enough. 2, you also help out that streamer by dropping into their stream, just saying hello, sticking around for a couple of minutes, sticking around for a few hours, dropping a follow or a lurk. It makes them feel exceptionally warm inside, so do feel free to stick around for the raid. But as mentioned, that is it for us today. We will be back with a scoop tomorrow at 10 a.m.-ish if we don't come back before with any sort of gameplay. There is a small chance that I could be on Back 4 Blood tonight. Because Shaw's asked about it already. Obviously, the game comes out. We do really like Back 4 Blood. We have played quite a bit of it. The caveats there are that I'm ill and that Bibby won't be playing. And obviously, if we're going to play through the game together, then it kind of need to wait for Bib. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I could just go out and see the ropes. Maybe I'll jump into PUBG. Maybe we don't have any. I don't know. The best way to find out, though, is drop a follow on the channel. If you do follow us, you do get notified whenever we do go live, whether that's for PUBG, whether that's for the podcast, or whether that's for Back 4 Blood, or anything else. But before any of that happens, Mr. Bib, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of us that have joined us for Tuesday's edition of The Scoop. That's 2 down, 3 to go. So if you want to help shape those shows, there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. Everything that you need will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
I don't know if voice one's working. I can't tell.
I can't hear any change.
I'm going to give up on that. I was going to go at 10 a.m. But voice mod just didn't seem like it was playing ball, so I'm going to leave it alone. 10 a.m.-ish is when we will be back tomorrow with the next episode of The Scoop. Candy Bear, thank you very much for the follow. Did I miss that one? I might have missed that one. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. So yeah, who can we raid?
Hamish is playing Back 4 Blood, so I'm thinking that's where we send everyone.
There you go. Let's go see Big Ham. Nice. Okay, stick around for the raid. We will drop in. Say hello to Big Ham. Feel free. Voice mod running lives.
Ish. Did that work? Did it work?
I did. I can hear it.
Yeah. Oh, we're finishing the stream like this now, so yeah. Go stick around for the raid. Say hello to Big Ham. Drop in the ICU emotes, or just tell him you came from here, whatever. If you don't have the emotes, you don't need the emotes. Just feel free to say hello. And have a good day. And stay
Hey, Frosty.